And we're live.
Are we live?
We are. We are live. So that means you should press play on the music.
Music.
And welcome to Words from My Face. On tonight's show, we're talking about the top 10 movies you should watch this fall. And we're giving you a review on Netflix's Narcos. Capping everything off with a little bit of video game news concerning Mutant League Football. It's not good when you forget the topics. But we also got some quick hits and maybe a little discussion on something that has Brendan perturbed. And we're not talking about our little brother.
Okay. Yes. That's
Well, And what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Words to My Face. My name is Brian. With me, as always, the tyrant of cool, Brendan.
Yo.
We decided that was a cool nickname, and Brendan wanted it, so you got to give the tyrant what he wants.
I mean, you did tell me that I couldn't be producer extraordinaire anymore, so that's I'm going to accept this change.
I almost think that this nickname is better. The tyrant of cool.
I'm pretty sure it's
no
better.
One's the tyrant of cool. No one is the tyrant of cool, and Brendan is. So yes, and we are the one and only home of the Chewbacca chainsaws. Yes. So it is Monday night, and it is entertainment night, and we've got a lot coming for you tonight. As you heard in the intro, we're talking about the top 10 movies of fall. We're talking about Netflix's Narcos, and we've got a little preview of Mutant League Football. Not really a preview. Just a little discussion, I should say. I didn't know what to discuss it. I can discuss it. I will discuss it all by myself. That'll be Brian's Corner.
Brian's Corner. That sounds like a new Saturday morning special.
Come here, little kids. Let me tell you about not eating too much candy on today's Brian's Corner.
Brian's Corner.
Brian's Corner. But yeah, so let's just jump right into it and let's kick it off with the movies. And fall season is rapidly approaching, and it brings with it some decent movies. Usually you get some horror movies in there because of Halloween. You don't get any of the huge movies because they wait until really the winter months. I guess, when does fall end? When is winter begin? Isn't that late December that winter begins?
No. Well, I guess it depends on where you are. Different places.
I'm going to Google it. I'm going to Google it.
I would say November usually, but I don't know. I think it depends. When
does winter begin? My Google. December 21st. So I was right. Late into the month of December. Now, really, for this list, I've cut it off at Thanksgiving.
Look, I think if it's snowing, it's winter. If it's below freezing, it's winter. And so that's going to depend on the place. Like probably in Rome, it doesn't start until 21st. But
no, technically it starts on the 21st. But so we'll just get into, like I said, my list stops at Thanksgiving. So let's jump right into it and start off with number 10. And that is Sicario. Now, this movie is due out September 18th, and it follows an FBI agent who's played by Emily Blunt, involved in the border/drug wars that are happening right there at the U.S.-Mexican border when she meets a mysterious hitman and stuff happens.
Does she hit him?
Maybe. But it is Benicio del Toro plays said hitman, so it's going to be interesting. It looks like pretty gritty, can be a crazy movie. I wonder if they're going to leave Emily Blunt with her English accent. Probably not. She'll probably have an American accent for this. But Benicio del Toro is good in almost everything he does. So I am kind of looking forward to this one. And let's keep on moving to number 9. And that is Pan, which comes out on October 9th. Now, this movie does star Hugh Jackman. If you've ever seen Wolverine, you know who Hugh Jackman is. Rooney Mara is going to be in this. That is, she played the girl with the dragon tattoo. She played the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Which one? Does she play the American one or the
the American one.
Okay.
Little known fact, she's sisters with Kate Mara, the girl who was in Fantastic Four. the horrible, horrible Fantastic Four movie. And I believe like their uncle or their father, somebody in their family, owns the New York Giants. So that's pretty interesting. But this is going to be a retelling of the Peter Pan story, kind of like a prequel, though. It shows Peter being taken to Neverland for the first time, where he will assume his mantle of the Pan.
Is it going to be close to the book? Is he going to be like a psychotic psycho, or is it going to be like the Disney version?
Probably more like the Disney version, but we'll see how that goes.
It's actually really cool in the book. He is such a psychopath, and all the like cliche things about that Peter Pan says are really incredibly dark / lies.
Okay. So we'll see how that goes when that comes out in October. And then moving on to my number 8 movie to see this fall, and that is The Martian. This movie comes out on October 2nd, starring Matt Damon, where he is part of a Mars crew that goes to Mars, and he's caught up in a storm, and his crew leaves him. So he's still alive. He's got to figure something out. It just looks pretty interesting. It can be done very, very well. Now, you always got to be careful with these one-person movies. Like, this is going to be pretty much him and all Matt Damon. Those can go really good, or they can go really bad. There's a movie called Moon, where they had pretty much one guy the entire movie, and I think they had the voice of Kevin Spacey as like a AI or something like that. Well, but
he's
going to go good or bad.
He's going to be the main focus, and he's going to be the only one on Mars. But they showed that they're going to be the other people and the rest of the crew in the movie talking about going to get him or not going to get him and things like that.
Yeah, but I bet you the vast majority of this movie is going to be just Matt Damon trying to survive on Mars. So
that's possible.
That's what I'm going. Then moving on to number 7, and my number 7 movie to watch this fall is going to be Goosebumps.
Movie.
Goosebumps, the movie, which this movie actually is about R.L. Stein's niece, who actually goes to R.L. Stein's house, I think, somewhere. It's actually supposed to take place in Maryland, which I find very interesting. And all the monsters to R.L. Stein's books come out. Now, R.L. Stein will be played by Jack Black in this movie, so that seems interesting. And it's going to be, it's going to be like a kid's horror movie. It will be like the books, won't be too serious, won't be too scary. I'm just, it sounds like a fun time. Jack Black plays those characters well.
Mm-hmm. And I do like the idea of it, of not trying to base it off of any singular book in the series, but combining them in a purposeful way of, obviously, we're combining them because they just release all of them or whatever, however many. So I thought that was kind of a fun idea to play around with.
It really just seems like a cool take. I'm gonna be interested to see in that movie. That's why I made the list at number 7. But let's keep on moving to number 6. And this movie needs no explanation. And it is the Peanuts movie. I forgot to write down when it's coming out, but I believe sometime in November. And who doesn't love Charlie Brown and Snoopy? And now they're going to.
As long as this isn't going to be a live action movie.
No, it's not live action. It's an animated 3D. It's an animated 3D movie. So I will be looking forward to that.
I don't know if I like animated 3D either.
Yeah, see, I think it'll be just fine. I think you need to relax.
I'm not relaxing.
I think you need to relax. It'll be just fine. You can't mess up Charlie Brown. All you got to do is have him kicking the football, have Snoopy put on the hat and the little flapped hat and the goggles, and pretend he's the Red Baron on his doghouse. That's all you need.
But will it translate to 3D? I don't know.
I think it will. I think it'll be just.
Is this going to be the first movie that's since the creator died?
I believe so. I don't think anything else has happened with Peanuts since Charles M. Schultz has died. So
I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be playing because he had a hand in the others. I don't know if he wrote all the other movies, but he had a hand in them. Yeah. Now it's going to be without his direction of any kind.
Again, like they're just going to rehash old Charlie Brown stories, and if they don't, they're stupid. So the source material is there. They should do it. They should do it. And
at least they didn't make it a live action. That's all I guess.
There is no live. I agree. A live action Charlie Brown would totally ruin it. So yeah. But yeah. So then moving on to the number 5 movie, and that is The Night Before. This is a Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen movie. It's kind of like a Christmas comedy, but like almost not a Christmas comedy. Almost not.
Almost not.
I think it's like a Christmas / Hanukkah comedy. How about that? Let's throw that in there.
A Kwanzaa comedy.
A Festivus comedy. You remember Festivus from Seinfeld? Yeah. But yeah, so it is Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Stuff is going crazy right before Christmas. So it's probably going to be entertaining. When I was reading it, they're like, oh, this is going to be like the next Bad Santa. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't really a big fan of the first.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that wasn't even a great movie to begin with, so...
But okay, but a lot of people really love that. That kind of had it hit its cult classic status.
That must be a really small cult, because I frequent lots of cult people's ads. None of them have ever mentioned Bad Santa. Like, no one has ever even mentioned... Why are you
frequenting all these cult people, Brendan?
Because, Brian.
You're
I'm the tyrant of cool. I have to know what's going on in the cults.
The tyrant of cool decides what the cults are allowed to like. Understood. Enough said. Enough said. The tyrant of cool.
Well, I have to decide which are the cool cults and which are not.
That's true.
Apparently, the Bad Santa cults are not the cool cults, because I've never even heard them.
They're not allowed to be cool. All right. So moving on to number 4, and this is one, if you've ever watched our show in the past 2 weeks, you know what we're talking about, and that's Victor Frankenstein. The James McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe vehicle will be the rehashing of the Frankenstein story, just being told from the point of view of Igor, and he will not be a hunchback going, yes, master. Yes, master.
I would almost say that should be a number 1 slot if they showed in the trailers that he was an intelligent Frankenstein. That's a big thing for me. If he was an intelligent Frankenstein, I'd be all about that movie right now.
No, I'm talking about Igor isn't the crazy guy that he was before.
I know, but I'm saying the Frankenstein's monster. Igor, I love the idea of that movie because of how they're presenting Igor. Like, Igor is selling me on that movie. It looks like we've talked about previously. But if it was an intelligent Frankenstein too, like he is in the books, then I would be... that would be my number 1 if it was like that. But they're kind of showing it as it's just like a horror one, so I don't know. We'll find out.
We will have to see, and that movie will come out. I believe that comes out on Thanksgiving. So moving on to the next one. This is an early November slated movie, I believe, and it is called The Last Witch Hunter, and this one is starring Vin Diesel. Apparently he was a witch hunter back in the medieval times, killed a witch, he cursed him with immortality, and so he stays on living forever,
hunting witches.
The world against witches. Yeah, pretty much hunting witches. And then the original witch who curses him returns, and this is where the main conflict of the movie will take place. So it looks pretty interesting.
It could be really bad though. It could go really bad.
Of course it could. It could go. Almost any of these movies probably could go either way.
That one just sounds like it could go Hansel and Gretel bad.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have faith. How about that? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna say this one's gonna be good. The previews were pretty cool too. The trailer is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to this one being good. Number 2, another November release, early November release, will be the new James Bond movie, Spectre. This will be the last of this series of James Bond movies, I believe, because the director is done with James Bond after this. So probably, maybe not the last time we see Daniel Craig as James Bond, but might be the last time we see these two team up. So the rest of them have been pretty darn good. Can't imagine this one would be bad, and this one's introducing just the most iconic bad guys of all of James Bond now, with the Spectre group coming into play. And
it seems
if you've ever seen any show where somebody's stroking a kitty and it's an evil guy, that is from James Bond.
Yeah, this is kind of actually a weird place for them to split off on, because Spectre is supposed to be. They're finally getting back to that recurring theme.
Point. Yeah, that was the jumping off point for most of the James Bond movies. They introduced Spectre, and then that's where the main villains come from for a good long time. Now, they've always kind of had Spectre in the background of all these new James Bond movies. That was, even from the Casino Royale, they kind of had them as the shadow group over everything. But this is the first time we're really diving deep into
it. That was the group that they couldn't properly portray for a long time because of like some kind of copyright conflict with...
No. That was different. Let's not get into that. If you want to know what Brendan's talking about, we have a video somewhere back in our back catalog about all the crazy stuff that went on with I think it was Thunderball. Yeah, that the rights for that were split pretty pretty good. And there was a big Sean Connery reprised his role, but wasn't with the original production group and did it with this new guy. And there's a lot of crazy stuff. You can scroll through and find our old video, and that'll clear up everything that was going on with that. But no,
you can just watch all of our old videos until we find.
But there's a James Bond cut up one there. It's like for 7 minutes long. If you're curious about all that stuff, find that, it's in there. But let's move on to the number one movie to watch this fall, and that is going to be Black Mass. And this is Johnny Depp. He's portraying Whitey Bulger, I believe, is the gangster, the notorious mafia guy who was around for a long time. If you've ever seen the movie The Departed, that's also Jack Nicklaus plays Whitey Bulger in that part where Leonardo DiCaprio gets into his group and everything. And the big thing about Whitey Bulger is, yes, he was kind of a mafia guy, and he killed a lot of people and did a lot of bad things, but he was also an informant for the FBI. So while he was informing on other people and committing crimes over here, a lot of interesting things happened with that story. So hopefully they'll do a good job. Johnny Depp they're doing a lot of prosthetics to him and like changing his eye color and all this stuff. And it looks kind of weird, but that's because we're all used to Johnny Depp and we're not used to him like this, but it does look like it'll be a pretty good movie. So that would be my number one. Oh, wait. You say there's a co-number one, Brian? Yep, there's a co-number one, Brian. All right, Brian, what's the co-number one? And that is Bridge of Spies. So the reason I put this as co-number one, just listen to who's involved in this. So it's a Cold War era story about Tom Hanks, who's like a lawyer, I believe.
About Tom Hanks? Like about him.
Not about Tom Hanks. With Tom Hanks
that would be an amazing movie. A Cold War movie about Tom Hanks involving spies. I'd be sold. Like, just somehow this is about Tom Hanks' life and how he was involved in the Cold War.
Okay, so it's about a lawyer portrayed by Tom Hanks who is helping the U.S. government get, I believe, a spy or a pilot or somebody's behind the enemy lines in Russia. And this is... Tom Hanks trying to help get him out. Now, this will be directed by Steven Spielberg, and Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg seem to be a really good tandem with most movies. But it's also written by the Coen brothers, there's some excellent writers. Like almost all Coen brothers movies are pretty darn good. So this will be very, very interesting to see. That's why it had to shoot in there to the tie for the number one spot. So it's really 11 movies you should watch this fall. But yeah, that's just how I do things. I change them up on the fly.
You just thought that last movie at the last minute.
No, I didn't. I actually wrote the list and then forgot about that movie, and I was like, wait, that was supposed to be like number 2. All right, it's co-number 1 now. I didn't feel like rewriting the whole list. But let us know what you think. What movie are you most looking forward to this fall? Hit us up, comments down below, of course, at Words to My Face on Twitter, Google Plus, Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us, but let's keep on rolling. And let's talk about some TV, and let's talk about Netflix's new show, Narcos, was just released last Friday, the 27th or 28th, one of those days. And it tells the story of the life of Pablo Escobar and the DEA agents sent from the United States to help the Colombian government kind of put an end to what was going on with all the drug trafficking and everything with Pablo Escobar. So it is just a really enthralling TV show. Now, I'm going to say something that if you ever watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. I don't like watching things with subtitles. I really don't. It distracts me. I don't like having to read the subtitles and look up and see what's going on. I like to be able to see the expression on the face of the actors as the lines are being delivered.
Brian doesn't like reading.
That too. But this one is half subtitles and half in English. Because, like I said, it tells the story of both Pablo Escobar and the DEA agents sent to help take him down. So every part with Pablo in it, of course, is in Spanish, and all the parts with the American DEA agents are in English. And so it pretty much splits up almost 50-50 down the middle of what's in there. So now the people who are acting in this movie, we have Wagner Moura as Pablo Escobar, and this guy is pretty good in his role. Then we have Boyd Holbrook as Agent Murphy, the main DEA agent, and then Pedro Pascal as Agent Pena, who is the secondary character as a DEA agent. Now, In terms of the acting, the main actors are very good. Pablo Escobar, the guy who plays him, is just spectacular, because there's a lot of times where they show you like actual footage of Pablo Escobar and what he did, and they show you that they're kind of recreating some of these scenes from, because Pablo Escobar lived a very public life, especially in Colombia. He owned soccer teams. He ran for Congress. He did a lot in the public spotlight. Even though people knew he was kind of a drug trafficker, he gave away a lot of money to the poor and stuff, and kind of bought himself some loyalty that way. So he was afforded the privilege of being in the spotlight very, very often. And so there's a lot of times where they're just kind of showing, okay, this is Pablo, and then this is us recreating it. And the actor pretty much, he's got Pablo down to a T. So that's pretty good. Then you have the secondary DEA agent, who is played by Pedro Pascal, Agent Pena, and this guy is an awesome character too. When we pick up with him, he's already been in Colombia for a little while. He's developed contacts. He's been working with the Colombian government for quite a while, trying to track down these narco traffickers, and he is just the perfect bad cop, but still tries to get a good thing done. Might slap somebody around a little bit, but to get the answers he's looking for. And he walks this line between just almost going over the edge and not quite going over the edge. And it's just a really cool dual character. You definitely see two sides to this guy in multiple places. And it's very entertaining. And those are the type of characters I love, because there's a lot of depth to those characters. You can tell that he's kind of been twisted a little bit by what he's seen going on in Colombia. And so that kind of changes the way he enforces the law down there. So he's a really good character. My only quasi complaint would be the guy playing Agent Murphy, who is the main character of this show. Now, the character's kind of stiff a little. He doesn't quite portray everything that I'd like to see out of his character. Now, his character, Agent Murphy, is more of a straight shooter. He tries to follow the law a little bit more. Is not opposed to, maybe roughing somebody up here or there or something like that, but he's a little more of a straight edge, at least when he first shows up. In the first couple episodes, he loosens up a little bit as it goes on, and I'm only 4 episodes in, so there's going to be a lot more differences with him, but he usually is just kind of straightforward. Now, he doesn't mind getting some narcos killed, as they show you in the first episode, but he's not the one doing it. He just reports where they are to the Colombian authorities, and the Colombians just go in and kill everybody. So, hey. But those are the 3 main characters you get in the show. There are plenty of secondary characters, and a lot of them do play beautiful roles. We can't get into everybody right now, but those are the ones you want to watch. Oh, and by the way, the guy who plays Agent Murphy also narrates the entire story, and his voice is excellent for a narrator, so that's an important thing.
Is he as good as Morgan Freeman?
No, nobody's as good as Morgan Freeman.
Is he as good as Julia Roberts?
Does Julia Roberts really do narration?
Yeah, in fact, she does, kind of. She does the voice of Mother Earth in some YouTube series.
Okay, so
but
one
she's
really
narrating
rare and random thing.
Yep.
No. Yeah, she's not. He's not as good as Leonard Nimoy. He's not as good as James Earl Jones. And fine, he's not.
I'm sure he's. It's interesting that you pick 2 people that are no longer living. So you're saying he's.
Well, okay, but there are 2 iconic narrators.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing.
Yes,
except not anymore. I don't think they're doing very. If either of them did a narration now, it probably would be just the greatest thing to. I would watch any movie that had Leonard Nimoy currently. Or either of them currently
they are good narrators. So the writing on the whole show is actually pretty believable. It keeps you in the moment. You realize that these are all crazy people, and a lot of crazy things happen, but the writing is pretty good, and it keeps you in the moment. So overall, I'm going to give it a total score of a 4.0 for Chewbacca Chainsaws out of 5. And that's just
you're going to get a grade point average.
4.0, yeah. No, that's Chewbacca Chainsaws out of 5. Now the show is really good. It's a Netflix show, so it's one of those things where you can't just watch one episode. It's damn near impossible just to watch one episode.
I've had someone there that I could watch one episode.
Okay, well, fine. All right. There's Brendan doing his best to derail me again.
I'm just saying
No, you're just trying to
they
derail
have some very quality shows. They are no longer at a perfect record.
You're trying to derail me at least once or twice, but now I have to do it. I have to put my foot down. No more derailments, Brendan. But yeah,
you brought up the topic. You brought up the topic.
It wasn't a topic. That was a statement. It was not a topic.
False statement.
But yeah, the whole show is really cool. They do make it take place a little bit more towards the late 90s, which was kind of, not late 90s, late 80s. I apologize, to early 90s, which was kind of Pablo's heyday. I wish they would have focused a little bit more on what's going on with him, a little more of an upbringing, an origin story. But they kind of, the first time you see Pablo, he's already an established smuggler. He just hadn't gotten into the cocaine trade. So it just seems like they fast forwarded a little bit in his life. Now, there's plenty of room for them to flash back, and they have done that several times to go back and tell a little bit more of the earlier story of Pablo Escobar. But I kind of wish they would have started earlier, because this makes me think that we're only going to get one season out of Narcos, and that would be a shame, because this show is excellent. So I want to keep seeing it. So I wish they would have started a little bit earlier in his life, but who knows? You know, these writers, they have ways of tying it all back together. So if it does successful enough, I'm 100% sure we will have a Narcos season 2. So there's no worries there. But let me know if you've seen it. What are your thoughts on Narcos, the TV show? Is it something you want to binge watch all the way through, or something you're going to leave to the side? Hit us up. Let us know. Comments down below. Of course, at Where's My Face on Twitter and Google Plus and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us. And now on to one of my favorite segments ever. And that is Quick Hits. Brendan doesn't have it ready.
I just did it.
No, you did it 2 seconds too late.
I have a lot of things to take care of, Brian. Sometimes quick hits are slightly slow to start, but then they're like everywhere.
By the way, if anybody back there is like, what does Brendan have to take care of? He has to press a button to slide, which is it showing? Can they see it?
Yes, it says quick hits now. It's highlighted quick hits.
He presses a button that highlights this, and then he presses another button that makes that go.
They're on different screens, far away.
You don't like it when I derail things for you, huh? Huh, Brendan?
I'm actually fine with it, because I can talk about this.
He's boiling with anger inside.
But I had to do more than just press button tonight, but...
He's boiling with anger inside. Boiling with anger.
Boiling, mash a stick a bit of stew.
Okay, we're going to keep moving, and we're going to move on to our first quick hit. And apparently Deadpool Remastered, the video game from 2013 that came out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4.
That no one liked.
I heard it was actually a pretty decent good game.
No one liked it.
No one liked it? Well, it's being remastered for PS4 and Xbox One, so someone kind of liked it, right? I didn't play it, so I can't really honestly say. But I did hear some good things about it.
Okay.
It was like a 7 out of 10, so not horrible, not great. It's probably only coming out because of the Deadpool movie. They're just like, how do we milk more out of Deadpool? Oh, let's just re-release the same game. Haha, we're good. Let's move on to the next quick hit. And that is Nuketown. Everybody's favorite Black Ops multiplayer map is going to be making its appearance for the 3rd time in the Black Ops franchise in Black Ops 3. So if you don't know Nuketown, it was a really, really small map. Everybody liked it because you couldn't go 2 steps without either killing somebody or being killed by somebody. So those matches moved by pretty smoothly. So yeah, it was interesting. I will be looking forward to Nuketown if I do get Black Ops 3.
The Blood Gulch of Black Ops.
Pretty much. So I don't really know if I'm going to be getting Black Ops 3 because there's going to be a lot of things to get. I mean, we're talking Destiny Taken King comes out in 2 weeks. Then we have we have Fallout 4 in November. We have October, I believe, is Battlefront. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to squeeze that one in there. Maybe sometime later on down the road, but we'll see. But let's move it on to the next quick hit, and that is all you comic book fans out there, get ready. An awesome mashup comic is going to be coming our way this week. You can find it. And that is Deadpool versus Thanos. #1 is going to hit all those comic store shelves this week. And that just sounds like a really cool fight. Deadpool against Thanos. Well, Thanos is being pretty much hyped a lot right now. Josh Brolin's coming out because they're about to start getting into the Infinity Gauntlet / Infinity War. And so he's been a pretty popular character, and everybody loves Deadpool. And now that Deadpool's getting a movie, more reasons to hype him. So if you are a comic book fan, I imagine this one's going to be a classic. I hope so, at least. If it's not, that sucks. But what can you do? Let's move it on to the next quick hit. And that is a big RIP to film director Wes Craven. After scaring the living crap out of us for the past 76 years, unfortunately, this gentleman has passed away. He's brought us such films as Nightmare on Elm Street. I believe he was the creative mind behind Scream, the first one at least. And there's several other horror movies that he's done. He's done plenty. So if you are a horror fan, this will be a big loss.
Yeah, they actually... interestingly, just last night I was watching Sliders, and they mentioned him in a random episode of Sliders because
Well, there you go.
because they're in a place where people are walking around like zombies. So like, oh, where's Wes Craven? But yeah.
So let's move it on to the last quick hit, and that is new to Netflix in September. We have some good things. I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm just going to tell you what I'm most excited to watch. Gotham Season 1 will be on Netflix. Now, I did miss a couple episodes in the middle of the season, so it'll be nice to be able to catch up on that. I believe that's out like September 6th or something like that, somewhere in there. Then we also have Blacklist Season 2, which if you haven't watched Blacklist, I found that on Netflix last year, right before Season 2 came out on NBC, and I started watching it, and that show is amazing. So check it out. James Spader plays an awesome role in that one. And for all you movie buffs out there, I know this is a movie everybody's waiting to see on Netflix because, it's hard to get your hands on it. It's a 1987 movie, and that is Masters of the Universe. Yes, the He-Man story with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. I can't remember who plays Skeletor, but yes, this is all inspired by toys. That's right. I think this even had its own
Masters of the Universe was always like kind of a big name for guys that take care of kind of a small area.
Yeah.
Do they ever go into space or anything? I don't remember that, but I guess
we're gonna have to watch the movie and find out.
They better go into space. They better show why they're Masters of the Universe. Otherwise, I'm gonna be very
disappointed. I will
disappointed.
watch this movie, and I have a feeling it's pretty bad. So maybe Return of Horrible Movie of the Week next week, eh? Eh?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's what I was looking for. But that was our quick hits of the night. All right, and so let's move it on. Let's talk a little bit about video games.
Video games? Wait a second. Do we talk about video games on this show?
We do. We do sometimes. We do that. That is something we do.
People let us?
People let us. Yes. And so tonight's video game topic, we're talking about Mutant League Football.
Mutant League Football.
If you are a kid of the 90s like I am, you might remember the TV show Mutant League Sports, where you had, I can't remember the main character's name, but the Bones guy, and his catchphrase was, "Bring on the noise." And he had his lizard friend, and they played against other mutants. And the cool thing about this show was that these mutants could, like, lose a leg or, like, break an arm or, maybe head pop off or something like that. And then they just go in this rejuvenation tank for, a day or so, and they're fine. They're fine. And then they come out and play the sport. And if you watch the show, it had multiple sports in it. But back in the Genesis era of video games, we had a gem called Mutant League Football that came out that just had the football part of it, where you would pretty much do what you do in Blitz, but they would be, you were
before
mutants.
Blitz, right?
Before Blitz. Oh, yeah, before Blitz. You might say Blitz might have been inspired a little bit by this game because there was a lot of the over-the-top, like, violent action, like kind of comedic stuff, like if somebody's leg falls off or something like that. It's not like crazy, like, oh my god, that guy's leg fell off. It's like, that mutant's leg fell off. Well, he's going to spend an hour in the tank, So that game came out, and now they just released a trailer for the pre-alpha gameplay of the remake to Mutant League Football, and that will be coming out sometime probably within the next year. And that just got me thinking that if they're going to remake this game and they're going to put it into the modern day, and with all the technology we have to put extra stuff on discs, why not just expand Mutant League Football out just into Mutant League Sports like they had with the TV show? I would think a hockey game would be excellent in there.
I think I saw they did have a hockey game, but I don't think it was anywhere near as popular as the football game.
As a football game. But you could combine these into two, and it wouldn't be that hard to, take the physics of football and put it towards hockey, have those guys running around there. Or let's say a basketball game, or maybe a baseball segment part of it. You could have the whole Mutant League sports thing going on and just diversify the sports. You're not putting it's not like a real football simulator. It's not like Madden that they're making for Mutant League sports. So I don't imagine it'd be too hard to create the other arenas of play. And maybe they are. Maybe they're just doing football first. And then, they make a Mutant League sports. That's the game. You have 6 sports you can play, and you pick your mutant team, and they're all the same, but they all play the different sports just like in the show. And I just think that would be a really cool way to do it, because what's better than first, tackling somebody and making their torso come off, and then next slam dunking on somebody and making their legs come off? I mean,
slam dunking their head.
And they should definitely put that in there for bonus points. If you slam dunk another person's head, you get an extra 5 points. I think that's fair. But I am actually pretty excited about this. I imagine this will not be like a full retail game. That's why they wouldn't put in all the other sports. It's probably going to be more like a downloadable thing, kind of like a Rocket League or something like that, just to to diversify what you find on your games. In terms of sports games. And this is a game that even if you're not a football fan, you're not a Madden fan, you might get into, because it's more than just the basic football. It is a little bit more of the blitz style, kind of more of a action type game.
Well, I think a lot of the older sports games from the Genesis era and earlier did quite frequently appeal to people that are not otherwise big sports fans. I mean, they still do, because a game is different, but just when you're doing something, the gameplay is so different than just thinking about football. And when you have these mutants, obviously, where you can do body slams, it definitely does appeal to a bigger crowd. And I would kind of imagine that if this does well, if it does reach that other market and does well, they probably will branch out and make another game that's Mutant League hockey now, Mutant League soccer.
Or basketball or baseball or soccer. Soccer would be a good one too. Imagine soccer would be closest to football. So
Mutant League bowling. I don't know.
You would have to bowl with mutants' heads.
Yes.
That would be the only one that would work.
You'd have to fight each other to get the other guy's head first before you get a shot to bowl it.
And then you bowl it.
And it's like legs or something that are the pins. I don't know.
But it could be pretty funny. But let us know. Were you a fan of the old Mutant League, and are you excited for it to be resurrected? Let us know. Comments down below. Of course, at Words For My Face on Twitter, Google Plus, and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us. Also, wordsformyface.com. I don't say that enough.
Wordsformyface.com.
But we have one more video game topic, and there's something that kind of perturbed Brendan. So I'm going to let Brendan go ahead and take over.
All right. So, I think it was last week. Was it last week? Maybe the week before that.
Last Friday was when you put up the video.
Okay. But around last week is when this little thing got launched by YouTube called YouTube Gaming. I mean, they had betas for it already, but they really launched it full on, I guess, out of beta now. And they're trying to really compete with Twitch. Trying to say, hey, we're the one-stop shop. And they, I like their interface. I think I commented on it early on when their announcement, saying like, hey, yeah, I'm interested in it. I like the interface so far. We'll see how it does. And I'm calling it death. I know they have some money to push through.
No, I don't know if you can call death, Brendan.
I'm calling death because
you can call shenanigans. You can call malarkey. You could call...
It is going to die because they flagged us. This is the first flag we've ever gotten on anything.
That is the first flag.
Partially because we're really careful. But so I decided to test out our streaming to YouTube Live in general, but I thought, hey, let's try out YouTube Gaming, because we've dabbled a little bit in Twitch. Let's do some YouTube Gaming. I put in Brutal Legend like I always play. I even had the selector on YouTube saying like, hey, I'm playing Brutal Legend for YouTube Gaming, everything. And they're like, oh yeah, here, it's that game. And I stream, not even for very long, but I'm streaming. I'm on camera. An
hour and a half.
Yeah, but a lot of other people do it for much longer. I'm on camera. I'm talking the whole time as much as I can. There's other overlays. I put some work into this. It's not just me throwing the game up and I'm playing. And I ended up like, okay, that was fine. And we get this flag because it looks like one like part of a song or one song during the course of that got a claim, an auto claim, because they did it within a few hours, if even that.
Yeah, I think the video went up on Friday, and I saw on Saturday or Sunday that our video was flagged or something like that. It went up on Saturday, Sundays when I saw it. So
it was really quick, and it was just.
And I was like, Brendan's trying to kill our channel.
But they flagged it and they muted all the audio for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on now. How is this not? How did you guys not work this out? If you want everyone to go from Twitch to YouTube, you can't just flag in-game audio for out of nowhere. I understand you have your copyright stuff. This is fair use. This is part of a game, and I'm talking over it and everything else. I don't know. And it was at the end of the broadcast too. Yeah, this one thing gets flagged at the very end. Well, I'm like getting ready to stop. I'm like, oh, let me go do this one last little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, it is more of a musical game than a lot of other things, and there might be original music maybe from a band that says, okay, you can use this just for this game, and that could get into weird realms. I know like Rock Band would get into that realm, and that would be an interesting thing. Yes, I've seen people stream that stuff, but it's probably on a fine edge there. So yeah, it's still kind of ridiculous if they set it up like, oh, you can even tell us what game you're playing. Oh, this is one of the games we know about. So we're ready for this game to be played. And then they go ahead and flag the audio. Why not just know that and cut that audio out ahead of a time?
Which is another thing to note, that they have a feature. I almost was like, okay, at least that's helping me out here. They have a feature that says, okay, this is the song and this is the part of the stream that was flagged. You can click this button to remove the audio and then hopefully get the rest of your audio back, but just remove that audio. So I click that button, it says it removes it, it does nothing. All my audio is still gone. So
yeah, so YouTube, work on that a little bit, guys. But we love what you're doing in general. I think this is a step in a cool direction with the game.
It would be if you're not flagging me for playing Brutal Legend. or tell me ahead of time just that we can't play. We can't
don't play
have any audio. Which I think I've seen people giving that advice. Just turn off your audio for your game. Which that's kind of ruining a lot of the experience. But I guess if that's what you have to do.
What can you do? But yeah, so it is what it is. But let us know what you think. Do you think YouTube gaming is a cool thing, or it's just going to be a trap? It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
But you know who's not going to stand for it?
Who?
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca is a paragon of justice. So
he will free all from the trap.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Right before he slices them in half.
Wow, that's not a very good image to leave everybody with.
I mean, how else is going to get you out of the trap? It whole? That's not what he did with... you saw the movie. C-3PO. He gets him out of a bad situation, but not in one piece.
C-3PO he was already out of one piece. He just picked up all the pieces.
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
Okay. All right. But as always, I'm Brian. With me, as always, producer extraordinaire / tyrant of cool, Brendan.
You.
And we will be headbanging our way out of this joint. Yeah. I don't know if I can call you tyrant of cool. And good night, everybody!